Jessie here from Tonkadale, and today we are so lucky to be here with Chef Ann Ahmed, owner and founder of Khâluna, a restaurant in South Minneapolis. We have a great connection with Ann because of her love of plants and how she beautifully features so many plants in her restaurant. So, can we have a little chat?
Yes, of course. Well, first of all, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you came to see the home of where your plants are living now.
Yeah, their new home. So, ready?
Yes.
Let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, Ann, so I've had the pleasure of eating here twice, and both times have been amazing. I just want to hear a little bit more about what inspired you and your origin story, like what's behind the restaurant, Khâluna.
I think it's a collaboration of a lot of things. I think it's like I think the major thing is like my madness of like just wanting to have a restaurant. But I think like this in particular restaurant really came to me like during the pandemic. I've always had a dream of like wanting to have a restaurant in Minneapolis, but you know, my first restaurant, Lemongrass, it's 17 years and it's in Brooklyn Park. When people are like, Brooklyn Park? Where is that? But yeah, it's not that far from here.
No.
But yeah, this is like my, you know, finally I got a spot in Minneapolis. What did I want it to be? And it was all during the pandemic. And for me, it was like, the pandemic was, you know, we were all locked down. We were just kind of like confined, and it was like kind of that dreary winter for us here. So immediately I kept thinking about like, if I could be anywhere, where would I want to be? And I just wanted to be, you know, like in a luxe resort in Southeast Asia. And so that was kind of like my major inspiration for this, because like right before the lockdown, I just got back from Thailand. So that was like really stuck in my head of like, you know, the tropical vibes, kind of like this really neutral kind of wood palette. And so that's really where I really wanted my restaurant to head in that direction in terms of aesthetics.
That's awesome. And I can't help but notice, but you have a ton of plants in here. And we've had the privilege of working with you at Tonkadale. A lot of our team has just had the wonderful experience of watching you select plants. You basically do it all on your own. So where did your love for plants start?
So once again, it's kind of like during my trips back to Southeast Asia in Laos and Thailand, it's just like all the resorts that I stayed at, I was surrounded by these luscious greens. And you know, like I had to control myself and try not to eat everything just because it looked like something that was edible. And I'm sure they were. And it's just because I was like, oh, that looks like this family. Oh, that looks like that family of this. And that's really was, you know, like that to me was comforting and it was relaxing. It was soothing. Everything that I want a restaurant to be was from my surrounding of my travels, and I wanted to recreate that. Not only was the table filled with food that I ate during my travels, but I wanted the space to be filled with that same aesthetics.
Yeah,
so
it's gorgeous. What are some of your tips and tricks for plant styling, both indoors and then also like out on the patio? Because the patio is lush.
Yeah, well, I think to me, you know, as like the food is kind of like, you know, like I start with a blank canvas and then I build that up in terms of color and texture. And so that's kind of the same thing I wanted to, in terms of like when I'm styling my shelves or like the nooks in my bar, or just like the space out in the patio. It's like starting with kind of like, what's that color that I'm looking for, that palette. And the textures in terms of like, you know, the baskets that I have from, a lot of it is from my collection of goods that I brought over from Laos, and so I'm able to play around with those planters, and then also like, you know, a lot of like wood textures, or you know, hard stones and marbles. So it's really about like adding that texture and then the different styles of like the leaves or the foliage. If something is like draping or, you know, these big dramatic leaves, and then pairing it with like something a little bit more delicate like the ferns. Mm-hmm. And so it's really about the texture is really what I think I kind of like have that as my centerpiece, and then playing off of that.
Yeah, so beautiful. So what plants have you been the most successful with?
I don't know
in the restaurant. Because I mean, your plants look great. It's not easy to have this many plants indoors.
We've been very lucky, and I think, you know, I have a really great team of people that we, you know, I always say stick a finger in it. I don't know if that's
exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah, so it's like if you walk past something and it looks or feel, or if it's starting to look weird, stick your finger in it, and it feels dry, it's probably hasn't been watered. So we try to have like a good routine of like, you know, we assign a particular group of folks like, hey, this is going to be your job on this day. You're going to do this, and we're really lucky to have Peyton on board. And so he takes care of his little babies here. But yeah, we try to find plants that will thrive in, depending on which. We're lucky that we have windows, and some plants that we have in parts that are not that doesn't get as much light. Mm-hmm. So we look for plants that don't require as much light. But I think for the most part is like, maybe plants like people, we're always filled with people here every night. They thrive on the sound, they thrive on the laughter, just kind of like when we're talking to our plants at home, how lucky are these plants to be surrounded by so many people every night that's enjoying their time out. And so I think that gives it its life.
Life gives life. Oh, I'm tingling.
A new t-shirt.
I might be crying. You were kind of misty.
Yes, because it's the
so
restaurant
good.
is our home, and it's like, so it's like I want my guests to feel like they're at home, and that it's why are you making me cry?
Why are you? I'm crying. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah.
I think you're I think I relate to you, and maybe you to me. I'm not sure. I'm kind of an awkward person, but I think you're a woman business owner with a vision that you had. You saw it through and made it happen, and work really hard so that other people can share that vision with you. And that is, that's pretty powerful, because there's a light around that, and like you said, life gives life. And I think when you can feel the passion and the energy, and I think that brings emotion, and something to be really proud of, right?
Yes, and for me, it's it's hard because it's not a no. I think it's I don't give enough myself. I don't give myself enough credit, and I think I need to slow down. I think it's because it's this mad, chaotic world that we forget to savor these moments. Just like when I was talking to you earlier, and you asked me that question, I was like,
I'm gonna ask it again.
Yeah, I was I don't know. I don't get to enjoy it. And I think it's I do need to make the time to enjoy it.
So my question for Anne before we got started, and I wanted to ask her this because I think about this often when I walk into Tonkail, my business. I said, how do you feel when you walk into Khâluna every morning?
So my answer to you was it depends on which emails I've opened up, because that really sets the mood for my day, and what fires I have to put out, and what what are all the agendas on my plate and what I need to get to. But on the days that when I don't have to open up emails and I can just walk in here, and it's usually days that when we're closed. It's on a Sunday. I have my kids with me, and it's just I'm wowed by my own restaurant. It's sometimes my husband are we pinch each other, can you believe this is ours? We did it. And so, but yeah, those are the moments that I think that really it validates what I do and why I work so hard every day. And I want to have more of those moments. And I just, I know it's possible. I just need to take the time to do it versus overwhelming with myself with all of these, the emails will always be there. I will always have the time to get back or to address the issues at hand. But it's just taking that moment to enjoy my hard work, I think is very important.
It's so challenging because it's never, in a way, do you feel it's never enough or it's never done?
It's never done. I feel it's never I feel I can do better. Yeah. I feel if I just move this over here a little bit, or I just scrub a little harder on the spot, and just get nice white. What it's I don't know if it's the mom in me, but it's always always looking for that detail that might have been missed. Yeah. So
that's so cool. I guess I just hands down have had really wonderful experiences here. I came with my aunt. Hey, Kiki. She's going to watch and be so excited. But I came here with her in December. I think I was wearing just a sweatshirt. And we were out vintage shopping. We came in, sat at the bar. We had that beautiful white wine from India. What is that one called?
Sula.
And we can't stop talking about it. So we had that, and then we sat down, and you treated us to this beautiful soup with taro root.
Yes.
And I was like, well, okay. And I in my brain, I'm like, what? This is familiar. And you're like, oh, taro root, the root of colocasia, the plant.
Yes. You're eating the plants that
you're eating the plants that we grow. I was this is so amazing. It's spicy, but it has flavor and depth. And so it was just really beautiful. What's next for Chef Anne?
Oh my gosh. I really just want to I want to travel more. I want to spend time with my kids. I don't really know. I think I have this mind that I can't put to rest. So I don't, as much as I want to relax, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's like, I'm such a creative where I need to continue to challenge myself. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know, maybe open up a greenhouse.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Or maybe like move inside of your greenhouse and like build a restaurant in there. I think.
Fun.
So I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I think there is a lot of freedom in that. Being content with where you are, working at it, refining, right?
Yes.
Refining and enjoying. What's your favorite dish to make? Whether it's on the menu or not.
Oh my goodness. That is a hard one just because, like I'm in this phase where I'm trying to like create new things. My chefs are always challenging me like, hey, Anne, we need, we want to put some new stuff on there. So I've just been making random things right now, but I think like it's papaya salad.
Ooh.
That's like, I don't know, like I remember being in Asia and I ate it every single day. And that to me is like my comfort food. I like all of the elements of it. It's like, it's vibrant. It's like spicy. It's sour. It just hits everything. And that to me is like, it's satisfying.
Sounds good to me. I'll take some papaya salad any day.
Let's grow a papaya tree in your greenhouse.
Oh my gosh.
Can we do that?
Just dig a big hole. I'm on it. It was a pleasure to be here today and learn more about Khâluna and you as a chef and a business owner and just share the love of plants. That's what it's all about.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you got to come and visit all your little babies here.
They look great. You're doing a great job. All right. Well, I think we should let you get back to cooking.
Yes, I did. Was that good?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at Khâluna and Tonkadale.